All right. Hello, everyone. Happy President's Day. Hope you guys are all celebrating your President's Day with lots of looking at pictures of Mount Rushmore, or I don't know. I don't know how you celebrate President's Day, but it is nice to have a day off of work. And it's raining outside right now. I don't know if you guys can hear that actually. Potentially the microphone's picking it up, though I would be surprised if it was picking it up, but who knows? It's not the greatest microphone, so as you guys probably know. But luckily, I'm connected to the right microphone this time, whereas sometimes I think last stream when I was reacting to the Bertrand Russell video, I was connected to my laptop microphone on accident. I think sometimes Streamlabs just doesn't remember my settings and decides that it's going to connect to something else, and it's just a bit silly. Also, I deleted YouTube recently. I've uploaded more videos this year than I've watched. Most actually, that's probably not true. I've gone on Safari YouTube, but I deleted YouTube from my phone. So potentially this is like my one opportunity to watch YouTube because I'm not on it lately. But um, I'm just scrolling through and I'm just not seeing very much good stuff. One of my friends at work said that the internet has just turned to complete slop now since AI, and I mean, that's kind of the truth. It feels like things are getting um, more and more just boring, less good content in the world. Um, so it made it a little easier to start just going through and deleting stuff. I don't know how much value I was actually getting out of YouTube. There's this part of me that always kind of clung to watch it, and I shouldn't be saying this in a YouTube video, wanting you guys to subscribe to me and wanting you guys to watch me. But I kind of realized like I was just watching videos just about just dumb stuff. Like I deleted it right after I went on like a deep dive on watching people talk about Clavicular. If you guys know who that is, I was watching like the videos about him, and I'm like, this is just so dumb. I just need to get off the internet. But we need to be done. This is, yeah. The world is just an interesting place. The internet is not a great place. Um, so get offline. If this is your wake up call to do that, that might be it. But no. So yeah, just scrolling through YouTube right now. Not seeing a ton of good stuff to watch. If you guys have anything to suggest, I might listen and see if I can watch whatever videos you guys suggest. Sometimes you guys suggest really interesting things to me. But yeah, I really enjoyed watching that Bertrand Russell video. I'm realizing more and more that a lot of people's big issue with Christianity tends to be the way Christians behave, and it's it seemed like a lot of his video, especially towards the end, I think a lot of his video was talking about like actual arguments for Christianity, giving his take, like very brief take. It was kind of a very high level overview, but he spent a lot of the video just like critiquing Christianity because of how Christians behave. Um, and I find that a lot of people actually have that criticism. People don't like organized religion. I was having a conversation with a friend about this um, who's not Christian, though it has a high value for faith, and it seems like a lot of the way that Christians behave in the world, and especially, I guess it's President's Day, so we can talk about politics a little bit. Some of the way that Christians are with regards to their politics. Like there's these people who act all holy and then will go and support ICE, but because they believe in Jesus, they get to go to heaven. Like that's the sort of it's this sort of like, oh, these people are like horrible people, but just because of this one thing, they get to go to heaven. And that's kind of that's part of what Christianity is, and that's part of what um, you expect, because it is freely given grace. We don't earn our way into heaven. We're all ultimately sinners who are damned. But it's particularly bad because you would expect like some level of sanctification by uniting yourself to Christ. You should see yourself improve and become a better person. But a lot of times, like, you just don't see that with the way that many Christians behave and the way that people act. So I think that's a huge issue that a lot of people face when it comes to coming back to religion. Like, you can come back to the faith nominally, but it's hard to actually want to be around Christians when so many of them are the way that they are. Now, also, I think some of the best people are Christians at the same time. It's a very wide scale. And I don't think we should speculate on anyone's salvation, but James does talk about this sort of issue when it comes to people who say that they're Christian, claim to have faith, but are not actually better people. Faith without works is dead. That's James's argument. So a lot of this stuff is discussed in the Bible, and I think having a good understanding of the gospel can help address a lot of these concerns and a lot of these concerns with Christianity, and with the way that Christians behave. But it is hard to understand the need to want to go to a church when it is a human institution, and all of the aspects of the fall, all of our fallen nature, that gets brought with us into the church. And just, I mean, looking at history, you can see all the pride, all the anger, all of the bad stuff that that we have brought to the table, yet somehow it's still preserved and is still made good people and is still made saints. And not just in like the Catholic or Orthodox sense, where they can where they can claim that they know for certain that certain people are in heaven. Now many of them probably are, like, there's a lot of great saints out there, but just like creating any Christian that believes and is united with Christ is a saint. They go to heaven after they die. So this religion full of awful people and so much sin and corruption and all of that still has been creating good people. And I think we need to unite ourselves to an institution as well. There's been someone brought this up in a Bible study, talking about the concept of like a third place. Like, you have your home, you have your job, and many people now are trying to find what is that third place, whether it's the gym or a cafe or like, I don't know. I'm not super familiar with that concept, but a lot of that I think stems from our need to be part of a community outside of our job or outside of just our social, or outside of just our family. We need a community to be part of, to place ourselves into. And the best way I think to do that is the church, because God brings so many people of so many backgrounds together. The amount of old people that I've just sat down and had conversations with just at church and learned from and listened to, like fathers talking about raising their kids, or talking about fathers who like their kids have graduated and then they're leaving the faith and they're thinking through all that, like so many things that it's just not something I think about at this point in my life. But you go to church and you're just surrounded with people with so many different life experiences that you just wouldn't meet on a day-to-day basis. And I think that's super helpful, and you can't do it on your own either. It's so easy to just go in all sorts of different directions with your thinking and interpretations of the Bible and all of that stuff. It's not just you and your Bible. You're part of a larger community that has done a lot of work to understand this and has been on this walk already. I think you need all of that, even though people are so flawed and even though people are so broken and the church is so broken. You can't do it by yourself. You need the good people in the church to help you understand what you're reading and help correct you when you go wrong and help all of that stuff. I don't think you come to actually be challenged by scripture and actually reform your thinking unless you're part of a church or some church community. I think that's crucial. I mean, the amount of things that I've just had to reassess and rethink has been huge, and I don't think that would happen if it wasn't for church and conversations with people and just that commitment to the Bible. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking about that a decent amount lately. I think there's a lot of stuff to think about with regards to the church and what direction you should take your life in and where you should spend it. I think, go to church. I guess maybe that's the message. I think that is the message. Because we want to be part of something. We want to be part of a community. And in our modern digital hellscape, I said that at like a ski trip with some work friends, and they thought that was funny. So I've been repeating that phrase quite a bit, just like the digital hellscape. But yeah, it's true. We enter into our little online bubbles and never really get outside of that and find our identity in anything other than what an algorithm feeds us. But ultimately, our identity is in Christ. Amen to that, brother. Let's go. Let me think. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about. We got one viewer on right now. Just been talking about the church, and it's kind of inspired by that Bertrand Russell video I reacted to last week. A lot of criticisms of Christianity come from just the way Christians behave and the way that they act. I don't know. That's probably the simplest way to put it, and it is what you'd expect, though. It's absolutely what you'd expect. Some people are Christians for pride or for feeling like they need to check the box, or they believe they do it in service of some greater political mission that they think it serves, when really politics should be subordinate to Christianity. But many people, like, what was her name? What was the name of the atheist that became Christian? There's many. Atheist. Like, there's some connection to the New Atheist movement. New Atheist who became Christian. Culture war, maybe. Yes, Ayaan Hirsi Ali. I don't know a ton about her conversion, but I know, like, when she converted, she wrote this whole article about why we as a society need Christianity, and we need to win the culture war, win the civilizational war against the Muslims, and that's why she's becoming a Christian. It seems it's so backwards. It's such a backwards perspective. And I think so many people are just Christians because it represents some political action or some civilization that they're trying to defend. Whereas Christianity it's not about one culture or one civilization. It's about the whole. It's about the whole, like us being citizens of heaven, not of us defending our own country and our own civilization and our own all of that stuff. It's about us being colonizers of heaven, on bringing heaven onto earth, not to defend Western values or to defend Western values are great. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having pride in your country or loving America, or loving like the Western civilization, but that's not what Christianity is about. It's not about defending a political structure that we have here on this earth. It's about colonizing earth with heaven, us being citizens of God's kingdom before we're citizens of any place in this world. And that's something that my pastor talked about yesterday, which was a really good conversation. Or a really good sermon. I might actually send that sermon to some friends, because I think it was a really good, interesting sermon, kind of talking about our identity to be found in Christ rather than in any specific political movement. And you see so much of that just in the church. There's so many people that you hear them talk more about politics than about Christ, and it's very sad to me. But I don't know how to help that. And they assume it's hard too, and they assume it's often with like conservative people, they assume everyone is on the same page and everyone has the same views of politics because, it's a church, everyone must be like a religious conservative here, which that's rarely the case. There's a lot of disagreement and dispute within the church, and Christians fall all over the place. Like, if we fall into one party or the other, we are doing Christianity wrong. I think that's important. But that was our sermon. I've been thinking a lot about that, thinking about kind of the role of the church and the way that politics has entered in and all of that stuff quite a bit lately. So yeah, it's been interesting to talk about. Maybe another big thing kind of going on in my life is I'm studying for another actuarial exam. I talked about some of the stuff in my What is an Actuary video, and yeah, I've been through a lot of them so far. I'm almost to the end. I have 2 exams left. I've taken 8 so far, passed 8 so far, and now I'm starting on my last 2, and my last 2 are investments exams, which is going to be super interesting and super cool. I don't talk a ton about work on this channel, just because this is kind of an escape from work for me, like an opportunity to go into and talk about and think about the other side of my life, which is also extremely important, which is my Christian faith and my interest in theology, and I guess math too, because I talk about math obviously a lot on this channel, but I don't talk as much about my job. But I did have that video, What is an Actuary, which was interesting. But the exam that I'm studying for now, I also don't like talking about work on this channel, because I don't ever want it to seem like this channel is like a representation. It's like me representing my job or representing my profession, or like the Society of Actuaries or any of that. It's really kind of my own thing, and I don't want to get those things super intermixed and intermeshed. Not a great thing to do. I don't really think there's anything like cancel worthy on my channel or anything I could get fired for, but it's just not something that I want to spend a lot of time on this channel, because I don't want it to be like too intermixed with my work. I want it to really be like its own separate world. I think that makes sense. I think you guys understand. I don't need to over explain it. But a big part of my life is studying for these actuarial exams and studying for all this stuff. So this is the exam I'm studying for right now. It's Investment 101 Portfolio Management. And it says 101, but it is a hard exam. They really all of the new exams that you can choose. I mean, you pick 4 of them. 2 of them have to be from the same group, and then 2 of them you branch out. I just have 2 left, and they're gonna both be from this group. I'm gonna take these 2. And yeah, the one I'm studying for right now is portfolio management, and just looking at the syllabus, it's about like interesting like asset classes, so stuff like mortgage-backed securities and collateralized mortgage obligations, or CLOs, or collateralized loan obligations, and hedge funds, and public equity, private equity, leveraged loan. Yeah, you can read through all the different things. A lot of like structured products, so like in simplest terms, anything you sell a bunch of debt to an SPV, a special purpose vehicle, and that special purpose vehicle issues its own debt that's backed by those by all the loans or whatever you put in there. Like a CDO is a pretty common example of one, and that one isn't super limited by what you put in there. You kind of just throw anything in there, and they were a big part of the financial crisis, because who knows what's getting put into these things. And yeah, that's a whole other issue. But yeah, portfolio construction, so talking about like building a portfolio. How do you bring all the assets together? How do you put all these stuff into one portfolio, manage it, make money with it? And then the last one is just credit risk, which is someone defaults on a loan. How do you model that? How do you price that into the debt that you are purchasing? How much more return do you need for credit risk that you're taking on? But a lot of it's just about modeling credit risk, predicting the amount of loss that you should expect to have from credit risk in a large portfolio. So those are kind of the 3 topics. It's been pretty interesting so far. I feel like I've learned quite a bit. There's a lot of readings too. I think there's something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. So about 40. I think a little less than 40. I was really counting fast, but there's like 40 different readings on this thing, and you just go through. I have a set. It's like this huge stack of books. And then I have to study all of these books. And then there's also a little study note that they gave us, like a little bit there in there too. You can kind of see. But yeah, these tests are massive, but it's what you got to do if you want to make money in this field. I guess you gotta progress upward, make the money, do all that stuff. So that's what I was doing this morning. A little bit was getting through that, and clicking through. Maybe I should just do some flashcards for you guys. Here. No, I get a little shy with flashcards. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I want to, do flashcards in front of somebody. It's embarrassing, because it's like, oh, what if I don't know this, or I get it wrong, and I'm like explaining all this stuff and it's just completely wrong. They're gonna think I'm stupid, basically. And you need to be stupid and make mistakes to actually learn the thing. And I don't like making mistakes in front of people. That's never fun. Never fun. That's why everything that I post here is like super polished, no mistakes. Everything is amazing. Hey, what up, Daniel? How's it going? Um, how are you doing? Yeah, just chill President's Day stream. Not a ton going on today. Was looking at YouTube, didn't find much. Talked a little bit about the church, um, and then yeah, just been studying today and thinking about debt and equity and all that good stuff. Debt, equity, making returns, and all the fun stuff. Yeah, maybe another interesting topic. I've started really like rethinking my investment portfolio. I've um, been putting a lot of money into different ETFs, just dollar cost averaging. Um, yeah, and I've been kind of rethinking like where to put that money, how to allocate it. In the past, I was doing mostly S&P, um, solid amount of growth and dividend stocks, and then putting a little bit of money in international, and then putting a little bit in Bitcoin. I am pivoting away from Bitcoin, starting to put a little bit more in gold. I think gold is a good investment right now, but these are less than 5% of where I'm putting my money. Bitcoin or gold, I wouldn't recommend putting a lot in there. And another interesting thing I'm doing is starting to invest more in international stocks. Um, in the past, it was a very small percentage of my portfolio, but I think over this past year, if we just compare the returns that you can make on international to S&P. So let's go like over the past year. International's up 30% on the past year versus like the S&P is up 11%. And it like this past like couple of months too, it's really like flatlined, it feels like. Um, uh, yeah, like the past like since like December, I guess even since like October, it's just kind of been flatlined, essentially. Versus like yeah, and like the international is just pumping right now, which is pretty interesting. So starting to put a little bit more into international. The U.S. has done so well over the past couple, I guess like past decade. The U.S. has really outperformed, but I feel like we're starting to see a transition away from U.S. dominance or U.S. outperformance. I don't think we're going fully away, so I still have a lot of money in the S&P 500, and arguably the S&P 500 is international exposure. Um, but like non-U.S. country growth, the valuations on those stocks are really good, um, and there's a lot of room for growth there. I also think like the dollar's weakening. I think the U.S. is the prospects for the U.S. are starting to look worse and worse going forward. I think just economically, and that doesn't mean that the U.S. won't continue to outperform. I actually still overweight the U.S. Relative to the rest of the world. However, I think it's a really good time to start investing more international. I think international is going to have like ex-US is going to have a pretty solid performance over the next decade. Hope that's my guess, at least. That's my prediction. You can take it with a grain of salt, because it's not a real informed investment decision. I'm like not like a investment expert by any means. I'm taking a test about it, but most of the stuff that that test is on is mostly like fixed income type stuff. And just learning like what the fixed income securities are. I'm not an economist by any means, so I can't. I mean, even my prediction might be as good as any economist's prediction. To be fair, every model is wrong, and that is what is so great about trying to model the world. because you'll always be wrong. But yeah, I don't know. That's been also something that I've been thinking about a decent amount recently. Just that and like finances, beginning of year planning, super fun, maybe boring to you guys stuff. I don't know. I enjoy a lot of like the financial nerd like investment talk and like all that good stuff is super interesting to me. Yeah, maybe I should talk more about that on this channel. But the problem with that is then we're getting too much into work and too much into it's getting too close to being just me talking about my job outside of work and not getting paid for it. Like we have one viewer right now. And they're not sending me a Streamlabs chat clearly, and Patreon I think is still dead. I cite my Patreon in every single video, but I actually don't know if I don't never check it, so I don't actually know if I'm making money or not. Yeah, I don't know. It says I have one member, but I don't. Yeah, I have a free member in my Patreon, so that's I think that is it. Yeah, I haven't made money in Patreon since like 2020, and that's when I stopped posting. Interestingly enough, keep up the work, keep the work progress. Yeah, no, I'm gonna keep working at it. Keep working at it. The channel will keep growing, and yeah, hopefully someday we'll crack that 1,000 mark. Start getting some subscribers. But I don't need your money. I make enough at work. True. It'd be like oh no, sorry. I thought of a dumb meme. But yeah, it's a beautiful day out. Love the rain. Love the rain. It makes everything. It makes the whole day seem so much more relaxing, and it just like everything looks so much clearer. The colors of the world pop so much more. Like, God is good. God is good. Yeah, so much of the beauty of this world is just breathtaking. Yeah, I'm saying that as I'm looking outside at like a parking lot of my apartment complex. That's yeah, but still, like, you can see the trees, see the bushes, all the good stuff. And that's like as clear of an indication as you're gonna get of God's presence. It's not a definitive proof or anything, but there's like this sense of like, yeah, there's something here. There's something here that I think I'm missing. Like, I don't have the words to describe without reference to some higher power, without reference to something higher. That's like, I love all my math and like super technical stuff and all that, but like it's more of a quality based argument. It's just like a kind of a vibes based argument, but I don't know. There's something to that. There's something to just like the experiential aspect of the world, and that's kind of where you can see God in a sense. And that's something that I really struggle with. I know some people are like very like heady and not heady, that's the wrong word, like very experiential, like they see God in everything, and they see see God telling them to do one thing or the other. I really struggle with that. I'm able to find myself very convinced of certain truths about God, but even then there's some doubts. Like, I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in God as expressed through the beauty of the world and through goodness and his creation of me and his creation of others. But it's hard for me to like see God working in my life and see all that stuff. It's just not the way I think. I think of things so much more as like random and yeah, I don't know. It's not the way that I naturally think. But some people really, sorry, excuse me. Some people are really good at that. Maybe I should make a video talking about like trying to find and experience God in the world. Yeah, I think that could be important because I've been trying to start doing the examine at the end of each day, and I found some good value out of that, like just going through my day and thanking God for things and trying to see where God showed up, because in a sense, like, this is all God's providence, this is all God's design, and it should be something that you should be able to see, and you can attribute all of this stuff to God. You can attribute all the good things in your life to God, but it's hard to make that jump in my head. I don't know. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's relatable for other people. It probably. I mean, there's probably people who feel that because like God is transcendent. He is seemingly invisible, though we have that made visible through Christ. But it's hard to feel like we're seeing God speak to us and seeing God work in our lives as cliche as that is, and as often as people say that. I really do struggle with that, and that's not like an existential faith issue for me, because I have an intellectual commitment at the very least to belief in Jesus Christ and belief in God, and seeing that kind of through the beauty of the world and through the love I experience in this world, and just by creation, all that sort of stuff. Like, I have a strong commitment to that. There's a lot of good arguments for that. It's that other and faith by virtue of faith, as C.S. Lewis talks about it. Like, even when you feel the mood swayed, you still stick to that intellectual commitment because you've already demonstrated it to yourself. Where I struggle more so is with this conviction of a personal God, this idea that God is in every aspect of my life and is working through that, bringing me towards some purpose. And that's where I feel like I have a lot of spiritual development to continue doing. And I think probably the best way to do that is prayer, because I find that while I have this feeling like I'm not connecting to where God is working in my life and seeing God as a personal God, at the same time I also don't pray enough. Like, there are people who pray and are always like talking with God. I imagine that's the way people talk about it at church, but I really just don't. Like, people are praying on their way to work, praying on the way home, praying, like, making their whole day kind of a prayer, and I'm bad at it. Like, I don't make the time for it. I like reading or studying or doing all of that stuff. But yeah, being on deployment abroad now is hard, but I know God is here regardless of the situation. It's not easy being far away from home and family, but I know He's here in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, and that's a great piece to have as well, because it means no matter what situation you're in, no matter where you are in the world, like, you're being deployed abroad, like, away from everything you know and everything you've seen and been around, you still have that constant faith, knowing that God is working you towards some purpose and towards some goal, and that He's with you, and that you always have that relationship. And I think in a world so plagued by loneliness, that is such a beautiful thing to have, is that personal relationship with the one who will always be there for you and will always be working in your life. Yeah, I think that's important, extremely important. Yeah. And I wish more people had that as well. I think if people were more convicted of that fact and knowing God is with them and present in all these moments, that, I mean, really, and not just like saying that or thinking that, like it's so easy to just kind of be a Christian and say that you believe all these things and then not actually feel that it's true deep within your heart. There's if more people felt that deep truth of the personal God that created this universe and created us with a particular telos in mind, or particular purpose in mind, an end that we're working towards, that he's going to be there along the way and work us through to that end. I feel like there's a sense of peace with that, because it is you're here for something. Yeah, I don't know. This is a little rambly, but I think that's deeply important. Man, I love the rain. God is good. It's so pretty out. I don't know. Some people hate rainy days. I love it. It's so beautiful. I don't know. And then everything is just so peaceful. Like nobody's going out and about, and especially here in California, like it's a rainy day and people act like they're like snowed in and it's like a -40 out and they can't go outside, and like I don't know. It's interesting here. I like it. The rain there, it's nice. It's nice. And we needed it too. We needed it. It's been a super dry winter down here so far. There's been a little bit of rain. Then also like there's a ski resort, if you guys know, if heard of Big Bear. It's in Southern California, pretty close to like, I don't know, you go outside east of LA, I guess, for my non-Californian people. And you go out in the mountains and you get up super high elevation, and they get snow up there occasionally. But really this winter it just hasn't got cold enough up there at the same time as it's rained, so it's just been like an ice block to ski on. And I hurt my shoulder actually when I went up. I went up in late January, January 24th. January 24th went up and slammed my shoulder into the ice, and it's been like not the same ever since. So I've been like doing like PT, and they've been working whatever magic they work, and it's really like honestly gotten better. Like I would not really be able to do raising my head above my hand above my head without intense pain before. But yeah, continue resting it, I guess, and yeah. Love the rain too. Yes, true. It is one of the beautiful things in life, I think, is the rain. Yeah. Man, there's just so much beauty put here. So much like variety and beauty and all that stuff. Man, I'm getting so spiritual this video. I feel like so much of my channel is like technical math proofs and like making like complex arguments about God, and well, not all of it. I guess there's a lot of like preaching and just like, man, sometimes you just gotta vibe out in the beauty of God's creation. That's such a California thing of me to say. That's so funny. Dude, also, okay, so I feel like I've noticed my accent changing as well. Like, if you go back to my earlier videos, I'm clearly like South Dakota, like, oh, don't you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not crazy, but it's there's, I feel like there's a very noticeable like shift in my voice that's occurred kind of over the years. Like, Southern California changes a person. It's a very, very different area of the world. That is for sure. And somehow coming out to California, leaving behind the Protestant stronghold of the Midwest and entering the atheist hellscape of California is what it took for me to convert to Christianity. I've always kind of been that way. I feel like I react against where I'm at quite a bit, but also like the particular area of SoCal that I'm in is pretty conservative too. So it's not like I'm up in LA. Yeah, without doxing myself too hard. That's I'll leave it there. Um, but yeah, no, I feel like I've always reacted against the area that I'm in. Like when I was in South Dakota, I was like, that's when I became atheist and kind of reacted against the very, because I kind of started leaning more and more left the longer I was in college, and then coming out here, I feel like I moved more right in the like thinking in like the social sense, because I was extremely far right economically, um, and that's moderated quite a bit. Not to the point where I'm like gone socialist or gone like, but like solid like mixed economy, maybe leaning towards like a Milton Friedman sort of view, but not really going all the way like with like capitalist obsession and laissez-faire everything. Um, Sort of John Maynard Keynes approach, somewhere between those two, somewhere between Milton Friedman and Keynes. That's a huge gap. Um, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's somewhere between those two, I would say. Um, but definitely big mixed economy guy. Love my corporatism. Love my regulations. Love it. So great. So important. Yeah. Man, it is pouring out. Oh my gosh. Dude, wish you guys could see this. It's crazy. It's like, dude, I kind of want to go on a run. Oh man. Dude, that's another thing that's been going on lately. I've been running quite a bit. I love running. Oh my gosh. Amazing activity. I used to hate it so much. I hated it, and I was like, I'm never gonna run again. And then I did a half marathon last year, and I did 3 half marathons in the past year now, and then I'm gonna do my 4th half marathon in May, and just training up for that. I really want to get under 2 hours. And I feel like that's so doable. Like, I'm so close. Every time I've been, well, I got 2:11 in one of my races, but I've been under 2:10 in 2 of the 3. So I feel like it's just that last little push. The problem is when I run, a lot of times I'm just focusing on like getting through the run, rather than focusing on running at a particular pace. So for this training, I'm really focusing on pace, like adding in tempo runs, intervals, throwing in like my last mile at race pace in my long runs. And it's been going well. I actually enjoy going fast more than just like powering through these slow runs. I feel like I'm more like energetic when I'm running, and I it's like less of a slog to get through, as strange as that sounds. Like, I thought like, oh, if I go faster, like I'm gonna be exhausted, but no, like I just so I would like go slow. I would be like, oh yeah, I'll just go slow through this, and hopefully I'll get through it. But I feel like during those runs, like I would get super sluggish and feel like, oh, this is awful. Like, let's just get through this. But for these like faster pace runs, I'm like, okay, check my watch, go in. Like, I need to make sure I'm always between these 2 bands, and it gives me something to focus on besides just the pain of the run. It's like you're thinking, yeah, you stop thinking about how painful it is because you're thinking too much about hitting that 9-minute pace exactly, and like checking the watch, like, okay, wait, ooh, I'm at 9:05 now, time to speed up. I'm at 8:55, time to slow down a little bit. It's like, yeah, it's a lot better. I really prefer that to like, oh, let me just slowly go through like 11 to 12-minute pace, and let's just power through it. Like, we'll get there. But yeah, to get my 2-hour time, I need to just keep a consistent 9-minute pace the whole time. A lot of times in my last race that I did at beginning of February, I got out at 9 minute pace, and then I just crashed because I couldn't keep it going. Like my first 2 miles I think were 9:08 and like 9:15, and then like the next couple you just see the slow progression downwards. Like actually I should find my splits. I think it was like 9:08, 9:14, and then but by the end, in like mile 10 or 11 I was like doing like 10:30. So like huge variance. I got out way faster than I should have. I was like trying to bank time, I think. Like yeah, when I was doing it I was like, okay, wait, so if I want to make sure that I for sure get under 2:10. So if I get out at 9 minute pace, that means I get an extra minute later on, so I can run 10:30 for 2 miles. That's gonna be great. And I kind of did it exactly how I planned it. But like if I just ran like 9:30 to 10 minute pace the entire time, or like 9:45 pace the whole time, I feel like I would have shaved off like a good couple of minutes. Let me see. 9:45 pace half marathon, 2 hours 7 minutes and 49 seconds. I feel like I could have, if I hadn't gone out so fast, I could have stayed at like a good 9:40 to 9:30. 9:30 is 2 hours 5 minutes, or under 2 hours 5 minutes, 2 hours 4 minutes 27 seconds. So I feel like if I hadn't got out so fast, I could have possibly got a 2 hour 5 minute half. I was not getting a 2 hour half that I hadn't trained to get 2 hours. But yeah, love running. If you guys have any running questions, I could talk about that a little bit too. See, sometimes these live streams are nice. That's why I have to do these monthly, because I really get to talk about stuff that I don't talk much about on this channel otherwise. Let me see. For my half marathon, I ran a 9:49 pace the whole time. It was 2:09:27. That was on February 1st. And my splits, my first lap was 9:06, second mile was 9:16, then it was 9:28, 9:46, 9:32, 9:38, 9:49. That's mile 7, and then mile 8. Mile 7 is where I think it started to get bad, and then mile 8 is where it really starts falling off. Mile 7 was 9:49, mile 8 was 10, mile 9 was 10:01, mile 10 was 10:19, mile 11 was 10:36, and then it started getting better at the end because mile 12 was 10:16 and mile 13 was 10:03. But like looking at some of these splits, like I feel like I could have hit and stayed at some like 9:35 pace maybe if I hadn't gotten out so quick for those first 2 miles. Maybe. I think 9:40 could have been a solid 9:40 though. Yeah, but that's okay. That's like only a few minutes. Because now I need to get I need to run that first mile every single mile in my race to get under 2 hours, which is crazy because that's one of the 2 miles that burned me out. So we'll see if I can do it. We'll see if we can do that. But yeah, love running. You guys should all go run if it's unless it's rainy where you're at. But even then, like sometimes a good rain run is a vibe. It's definitely a vibe. But yeah, I don't know. It is 12:14 now. I'm getting hungry and I have other stuff to do today, so I think I'm gonna call the stream here. It's been an interesting time. We got some activity in the chat today, which has been really nice. Love getting some chat activity. And yeah, let's upload this VOD later, and hopefully people enjoy that. Hopefully we get some viewership after the fact as well. That would be cool. sometimes the streams don't do as well as videos do, because people don't go back and rewatch the streams as much as they do the videos. But I don't know. I feel like it was an interesting discussion today. So thank you guys all for watching. If you guys liked the video, go hit the like button. See 2 people viewing right now. Go hit that like button, both of you, please. It really helps. I'm told it really helps. Every YouTuber says it really helps. I don't actually know if it helps, but it is nice to get those thumbs up. I'm sure the algorithm will like it and do its thing or whatever. I don't know. It's a black box. If you go, please hit the subscribe button as well. Thanks for the stream. Oh yeah, no problem. Glad you can make it. Thanks for chatting. It was interesting to hear your experience, and yeah, it's always great to have more people in the chat and more people watching. It makes the streams feel more fun and feel like I'm doing a little more than just rambling to myself. But yeah, go hit the subscribe button as well. So Patreon down below if you guys want to support, if you guys get value out of my work, you can donate there. And then Discord as well. That is also hopefully in the description. You guys can go down, join that. That's probably the easiest way to get in contact with me. If you have, sorry, yawned. If you have any questions, and yeah, with that, God bless. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all next week when I upload my next